Hello, everyone. I'm Dwania Peele, and welcome to Origin Story. This is a space where we go beyond the bios and the highlight reels, and we talk about the real journeys of women entrepreneurs, the moments when an idea first sparked. Ah, I think my computer just did something, but that is okay. That is how we roll. So, we're going to talk about, like I said, when we just had an idea spark. What about the risks that followed the ideas and the pivots that tested them and the breakthroughs that changed everything? Every business you see today started with a decision. There was a moment where someone chose to believe in their vision enough to begin. So, on this series, I'm going to sit down with some incredible women who are building businesses, creating impact, and redefining success on their own terms. Because every empire starts with an origin story, right? So I would like to introduce our first guest, Yemisi Iyilade of Eminent Coaching Academy. Welcome, Yemisi.
Thank you, Dwania. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here.
I'm happy to have you. But before we even dive into our first question, I want to remind everyone here, please like the video because that is an easy and free way of supporting this channel and to help us spread Yemisi's story. And we're not gatekeepers. We want other women to be able to share their stories too. So make sure you share this video. So we're going to dive right in. Yemisi, take us back. Where did it all start? How did this idea of you developing your coaching company start?
Way back. Thank you. Again, I'm going to start from, it's such an honor to be in this space. And I think a lot of times we don't take the time to pause and remember things. So for me, I started thinking about helping people for a very long time. But business ideas didn't come to me until COVID happened. So then there was COVID. And then what? The questions that bothered me was, what do I use my time for? And then suddenly, sometime around that period, I unfortunately lost my dad. Mm-hmm. And that was very hard for me, but I needed to be able to navigate that situation. I didn't know what to do. There was no clarity. But I remember just like yesterday when I went back home, West Africa, to the funeral. I remember the experience so vividly. It was like I met people that I never knew my dad knew about, but he did things I didn't know he did. So for me, the word that stood out was legacy. And I remember how when I was coming back in my flights, I remember asking myself the question, what type of legacy am I going to leave behind? I hadn't started thinking about it. And when I think about legacy in my life, the thing that comes out is, how do I help people become better? How do I, leave behind something that my kids and so many other people will remember me for? And so coaching came out of human-centric insights, wisdom that people need to embrace to become a better person. And then the learning journey. So I focus now on experiential learning because I believe that we might be a version A of ourselves right now, but we need to get to the version B or the next version to achieve the goal that we're looking for. And so that's how it all started. It started from that thinking, and then it led me into the hustle. During that COVID time, I started picking up 1 or 2 clients, and I had so many limitations too because I didn't believe in myself. So while I was coaching others, I was also learning that, I needed to grow. So it's funny. But yeah, that was the backstory.
Wow. So it really started at a pivotal moment in your life because, losing someone can usually be something that stops people, but it's something that pushed you forward. You started thinking about your legacy, right?
Yes, agreed. And
And
sometimes losing people, I was just going to stop there to say that sometimes our tragedy is what actually pushes us ahead. That's what I realized working with people. We don't want to come out of a status quo or change the things that we do, except we are stuck.
Okay, so I want to ask you a question because, sometimes going through that whole entrepreneurship journey, we change, right? How has you going through this journey stretched you personally? Like, how has it changed you personally?
My entrepreneurship journey has really shown me who I am and my struggles. So it started with me figuring out that the way I see myself was actually different from the way others see me. So one thing that that's really stood out in the journey was as someone called me out as to I needed to be more risk. I needed to take more risk as a business owner. But naturally, I'm this always reserved, calm. I always want to hold back until every other person has done theirs. And so and the reason I am bringing this up is because she did mention the truth about entrepreneurship. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you have to take risk.
Yeah.
You can't be risk adverse. And so it changed me from that. I always wanted my former self will be very like gentle, mind my own business, do little stuff, little things. But now as an entrepreneur, I have to stretch myself, go beyond what I think is even possible. And so it means taking risk. And that was one thing that being an entrepreneur did for me.
It forced you to step outside the box, to start
Yes.
thinking outside of what you saw as the norm. And especially, we have to look at the cultural implications. We're told, go to school and be a doctor, lawyer, engineer. These are the things you're told to be. And now when you say, I'm going to step out on a limb and be an entrepreneur, it's like, what? What is that? So it does change your frame of mind and changes the way you think, for sure.
And it also does something when it empowers you to find more answers from within. Mm-hmm. Because I believe personally that being a successful entrepreneur means that I have something that this world needs. Now, if I don't show up, I won't be able to unveil it. So being able to step out has really also helped me to build that confidence I need to say, okay, I can do this. I can create this and own it.
You mentioned earlier that you started to see yourself the way others saw you. Help me understand the difference. How did you see yourself then? And how do you see yourself now?
So then I would see myself as I don't need to move the needle. I don't need to go the extra step. I just need to do what's available for me. There's nothing wrong in that. But the way I have shaped my entrepreneurship now is being of service to others, not just me. So in the past is I focus on me, my close family, friends, and those that I can reach. But an entrepreneur is looking at a bigger community. You're looking at a larger population. You're doing something bigger and more. It means that you have to be able to stretch yourself. Mm-hmm. Is that ambiguity, that ability to do so much more. to help much more people. And in the midst of that is creating an impact, creating that impact that lasts. So that's what I mean by the way I see myself and the way others see me. And when I say others, and that's another part of the equation and really helping people as entrepreneur, it's not everybody that you should listen to.
Yes.
Because just imagine if someone hasn't experienced entrepreneurship and they're telling you things, it will be different from someone that has built successful business that are telling you things. So the other people I was referring to are, what are the other entrepreneurs saying about me? I mean, those successful people or successful business owners. What are they saying that they are seeing?
Yeah, you know what? That's really good too, to look into other entrepreneurs, but sometimes it's also good to look into your personal circle. I have a circle of friends who will always be truthful to me, who will always tell me, when I'm good and when I'm not. But they will also always praise me and tell me the things about myself that I might not see.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets you to be in that space where you're a little bit more self-aware. And if you're more self-aware, you exude that confidence when you walk into a room as entrepreneurs, because your friends have told you all the things about yourself. So you can walk in there, shoulders back, head high, and know how great you are because your friends said so and they know you and they're not lying to you, because you do have some friends that will tell you what you want to hear. Not those. Don't listen to those.
Exactly. So that's the point, right?
Good or bad.
Finding the right friends, the ones that will really tell you the truth. That's what you want.
Yes, yes, yes. All right. So now we are at the time of the interview where we have our segment. Our segment is called The First Yes. There was one moment that changed everything. The first person who believed enough to say yes. The First Yes is a signature segment on Origin Story where our guests revisit the first client, customer, investor, collaborator, or opportunity that validated their vision. It's about the breakthrough that shifts you from dreaming into doing and the courage it took to step into that moment, because sometimes one yes is all it takes to build momentum. So, Yemisi, tell me about your first yes.
I'm super excited to tell you this, Dwania. It's the first yes in the midst of uncertainty. Right in the midst of COVID, organizations were scrambling. Then there was this reach out that someone made to me trying to find out, are you in tech? Do you do consulting in tech? I'm like, yeah. And this is just me trying to figure myself out in the midst of COVID. To be honest, I didn't even know how to write an invoice or build. I didn't have any format or template for an invoice.
You were trying a thing. It's okay.
I know. But what amazed me was she was a woman. She was intentionally looking for other women in tech that had experience in digital transformation. So my role then included strategic advisory, but also project management. And so that was my first yes for a project for a non-profit trying to figure out their cybersecurity or their privacy, to set things up in a way that organizations or their team, especially senior leaders that were struggling with, there's no more in-person work, we have to go to remote, trying to make sure that there is no privacy issue, especially when it comes to nonprofits, right? So it fueled in me that thinking that, this is something I can do. Because I came from that bringing of you have to test things out first before it works. But that moment of yes taught me, no, it doesn't have to be perfect. 70% is good enough. I don't have to get to 100%. I built, I had to, for the first time, create an invoice. I had to, and I mean, my employer was so nice. My sponsor was so nice. She taught me everything I needed to know. And that brings me back to the audience. I think that when women have someone to help them, to be that, sponsor or ally, to say, you can do this, I'm standing by you, I think we would have more results and more impact.
Yes, and more yeses, because we will now know who to target, how to target. We'll have a clearer vision of what it is that we want, so that when we ask, it's a yes, but also sometimes we don't have to ask. They come to us like they did for you. So how did that yes make you feel, though? Like, especially once you were done learning the invoicing and you saw how much you were invoicing, how was the feeling?
I felt elevated. I know the feeling was beyond just feeling capable. I was determined that I was going to see what else I could be. It gave me a momentum that I can't even express, except someone experiences it. It's difficult to feel or know how that impact is going to be for you. But one thing is, psychologically, my mindset shifted from that fixed mindset to growth mindset. I was now ready to always get to the next level, get to the next level. And that's how I've been building my business.
Okay, Yemisi, I have this question, speaking to other women. I want you to speak to other women and tell them how you define power as a woman entrepreneur.
This is so good. And because a lot of times we undervalue ourselves. That's what I see women do unconsciously. Mm-hmm. So I think power is who you are, what has shaped your life, your experiences that are uniquely you. It doesn't matter whether someone else approves of it, but those experiences led you to where you are. The success that you have in life, and which, by the way, is a definition that is unique to every person. I think also that power is what propels you to want to be more, mm-hmm. to want to help other people, to want to leave an impact in the world. And comes back to legacy, which is a word that I value so much. I also think that power comes from a place of strength. Beyond your experiences, it's how you can make a difference in this world. It's the thing that keeps you up at night. When you think about the thing that makes you very mad is the solution that you bring to the world.
Yes. And I like at the beginning that you said that you don't need everyone to agree with it, or you don't need the approval of everyone. And that's what really makes it powerful. The fact that and you also know that you don't need others to approve of the you that you know. Yeah. That is a wonderful definition. Now, you started your business from a tragedy, but what advice would you give women who are stuck at the beginning?
Sometimes we are stuck because we don't have a community to rely on, or a mentor or someone that's gone ahead, right? Mm-hmm. I think the first advice is find people that value what you value, that share your vision, and connect with them. For example, if the Canadian small business community as someone that shares your value and vision, connect with them and learn how to start. So it's that, someone to push you a little bit, to say, yes, you can do this, you can do it. Find the right people. It's the
Definitely
best
find the
place.
right people, find your community, because that is what is going to help you soar. Because if you find that you're enjoying the journey or enjoying the thought of succeeding,
Mm.
it makes it so much easier for you to want to do the work in order to succeed. So I definitely like that. Now, I would like to get into our signature question, which is our final question for you. I want you to finish this sentence. My origin story taught me that.
I am enough, and I can help as many people that are struggling to be their best self.
I am enough. I absolutely love that. Oh my gosh. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Origin Story. I really hope for everyone that this conversation reminded you that every successful business begins with a decision. The courage to start, the resilience to keep going, and the belief that your vision matters. If you see, Yemisi started her vision out of tragedy because she took that tragedy and thought of legacy and decided that she wanted to build a legacy. If this episode resonated with you, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with a woman who's building something powerful of her own. And if you are a woman entrepreneur with a story to tell, I would love to hear from you. I will have a link in the description of this video for you to apply to be on our show. Until next time, keep building, keep believing, and remember, every empire starts with an origin story.